say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can't fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. Hey, now cannonball, 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 cannonball.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing iRacing Formula 3 Season 1 round number 4 here at Interlagos. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box, I'm always happy to say, is the Lord God himself. It is StevieSQ.
Hello, welcome everybody, welcome along. We're a brilliant track today, and I hope you enjoy it because we've got this for the next three iRacing
races,
including this one. But yeah, fantastically fast track, and a super close times from what we've seen from practice. I can't wait.
Yes, we had the top 15 drivers, of which we should have 26, all within a second. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. It was actually this man, Tim Delisle, that headed the practice session that preceded this quali event. So for those that let me just get my controls here. This is a quick reminder of where we stand championship wise. Where's my standings button? There it is. Rene Osterkamp leads the way, but his lead diminished after a well, the sprint race at Brands was pretty good for Rene, but the feature race was fine, but the sprint race did not go well for him. So Phil Reed to Evan Imre with just consistency, and fair play to him for it. Coming through in third position, then Thompson, Martinson, Lindstrom, Robertson, Kerry Nolden sadly having pulled out of this league due to the weird issues that he rather dramatically displayed for the feature race at Brands. And Van Hooyman and Sadler round out our top 10 with Mogren, Larson, Morris, Ryan and Miles rounding out our top 15.
Yeah, it's all looking very, very good for Rene Osterkamp. It's halfway through the season now. Only 6 races to go, 2 of which we will have tonight. But yeah, he's doing well, but he's not over yet. And so, like you say, consistency, doing an amazing job there for Evan Imre up in 3rd place.
So half the season gone, half remains for the Formula 3s and the Formula Renault 3.5s. Of course, they are alternate week on week. Last time out 2 weeks ago, it was these fellas, as mentioned, at Brands Hatch. Last week, it was the Formula Renault 3.5s at a bit of a favourite for Mr. Stevie, I think it's fair to say, Donington Park.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, yeah.
Best track.
Beautiful, beautiful track. And look at that. René Osterkamp holding the pole time over Tim Delisle by 5 thousandths of a second at present. Just watching Tim Delisle, what does he do? Does he improve on his already impressive time? Phil Reed jumps up into 3rd. Does Tim Delisle improve? Not that time. Invalid lap. But still 3.5 minutes on the clock for these guys to improve.
Yep, and just as a reminder, this is a lone qualifying session. We'd run through iRacing for this league, so they get the track to themselves. They can't complain about being held up or not getting a clear lap. They have 3 attempts to set a competitive lap time. Tim Delisle has set 2 and has invalidated his 3rd, so anything he does now will not count. But he will not be on pole, he'll be kicking himself when he realises he's that close. René has also completed his 3 laps. Patrick Kessler's still got 1 to go, but he's not on track, right?
He is. He's just coming to complete. Oh, he's just been knocked down by Connor Ryan, who's just jumped up into 4th position. Well, it's 1:24.858. Oh,
Patrick didn't improve.
No, he didn't. Not by much. And I think Tim Delisle, that time he's just qualified with 1:24.579 was actually, I think, it was quicker than what he did in practice, which he headed the field. So very, very impressive pace from the Privateer 17. A couple of new names in this field that we haven't seen previously. Jordi Maldonado, no relation to Pastor. It's just been knocked down to 9th by Canute. Canute Martinson jumping up to 8th position. Gio Cortese is the other one in the Spaniard for the Rogue Army Racing Team number 55. His day is done. He'll be starting at no higher than 7th. Is anyone else still running? Alain Tessier still running for the Cube Racing Simulator, number 878. Daniel Morris still going. That's a name I don't recognise. Morgan. I'm going to have a crack at this, as he's French. I'm assuming that's going to be Valenay? Have you seen this name before?
I have not seen this name before. This is, I assume, somebody new to AOR. Welcome. You're very welcome here.
Absolutely. Always happy to welcome new drivers. We actually have several new names. We actually have 28 drivers with us. Morgan Valanès. I'm going to go with Valanès or Valanay, as I think it would be, as he's from France.
That sounds better.
David Santana, or be David Santana from Spain.
He did the first round from memory. He hasn't been here the last couple of rounds, but he was here from the very first one.
That's probably why my game was updating his skin there. That's why he was appeared white temporarily. But a few people not getting a time on the board. Nick Domino and John Robertson not getting a time on the board, so they'll be starting from the tail of the field. Is Morgan Valanay that is crossing the line. Improved? Nope.
That was an invalid lap for Morgan. An update on David Santana. He is on a lap, but this is his first time lap, so he's only going to get the 1 in. If he even manages to finish it. With lone qualifying, when the time runs out, you get about 6 seconds extra, and that's it, wherever you are on the lap. Domino didn't set a time, so he's quite willing to start from the back, and same goes for John Robertson, which isn't a terrible idea because the starts here can be a little tricky. Turns 1 and 2 here can be very tight.
Oh, he's not going to have time. Let's see how much time he gets to complete. Oh, nope. He got nowhere near it, did David Santana. So he'll be starting towards the tail of the field. Let's confirm the grid then. René Osterkamp once again stamping his authority on this league with Tim Delisle 2, Reed and Ryan on row 2, Kessler and Summers on row 3. Then is Cortese Martinson, row 4, Morris and Tessier, row 5, Maldonado and Barb, row 6, Miles and Butelar. 13-14, Dove, Ferrani, Waldo, Imre, Lindstrom, Valanay, Suominen, Pierce, Milne, Sierra, Hoyman, Robertson, Santana, and Domino round out our field.
And you've got to go all the way down to 19th to find a driver outside of 1 second from pole.
Wow!
Yeah, very tight.
This is going to be a... say that every time. It sounds very corny to say it's going to be a cracker. It's not like they're not, but... Now, there has been a slight format change, and I should hopefully have time to go through that before they start. The feature race is exactly the same, based on qualifying, 40-minute race, mandatory pit stop, but the sprint race has been slightly altered. They're going to have a one-time lap run, solo time run, exactly as we've just seen. So it's not a reverse grid, but not everybody does well with a single time lap, so that should hopefully generate some interesting results.
Yeah, the idea is with the beta iRacing's beta UI to get these similar conditions. They basically have had to use that, and to do that, you can't have the reverse grid. So this is the alternative, and like you say, with one lap, it's very easy to get to ruin a lap when the pressure's on. So it could throw a right grid at it.
Right, we're just waiting for our drivers to... Everybody's gridded up, and we are away then. 40 minutes here at Interlagos. René Oosterkamp looking to try and defend his position, but look at that. It's car 17. As the numbers sort themselves out, we'll get everything up. And look at that. René Oosterkamp is under pressure already from... I've forgotten who that was that started next to him. It's Tim DeLisle, but Tim DeLisle's fallen down as a result. He's now down to 4th or so. That Phil Reed looking to get up and get involved in there. That's really difficult to see what's going on there. Look at this. Look at the swarm of them heading on down towards the towards turn 4. Phil Reed wanting a bit wide, coming through that turn. Now going to switch the what's going to again be the outside, heading uphill towards turn 6. I'm going to have a crack at trying to pronounce the corner names, but I probably won't get them right. Phil Reed trying to cut on underneath René Oosterkamp. He just manages to close that door. Conor Ryan 3. There is Tim DeLisle. He's already fallen on a couple of positions. Everybody has made it through, I think, okay. Possibly a little bit of trouble further back. We're keeping an eye up front. Lots of swarming around. The noise of these cars always reminds me very much of kind of like an angry swarm of bees, but they can't really help that. Good start up front.
Yeah, the only casualty we had was David Boutellard. He ended up in the barrier at turn 1.
Oh.
He got stuck in the barrier at turn 1. He's trying to reverse out of it, but he couldn't get out of it. So,
no!
He had to tow back to the pit lane, so he's going to be there a while.
Here they come then. Just Conor Ryan jumping out of the slipstream of Phil Reed. Look at that, Phil Reed nailed to the slipstream of René Oosterkamp as they come to start lap number 2. Tim DeLisle is fending off Charlie Summers, who's got Patrick Kessler for company. There is Gio Cortese in his maiden race of the season. He's doing well to hang on to the back of car 28. Here they come then down the Retta Posta heading towards the Decided Largo. Turns 4 and 5. There goes Cortese. Has a look but doesn't commit to the move. Behind them is there's Alain Tessier, Canu Martinson in 9th position, side by side with Jordi Maldonado. And Summers has lost a position. Look at that, side by side. Car 350. Charlie Summers on the inside of the next 2 turns is going to regain 4th. That's Tim DeLisle that's actually lost the position. Oh, Maldonado's! Oh no! Maldonado is off. That's such a strange sentence for me to say, but there we go. Car 911. Oh, just caught the inside of the apex at turn 6 at first part Ferradura. Oh no, that's going to drop Jordi all the way down to 25th. Oh, what a disaster. Van Hooyman in trouble as well. Oh, that's close. That's car 34, David Santana, that is challenging him, but no one with a particularly big gap. The biggest gap, certainly up front, is Conor Ryan to Charlie Summers. There you can see that particular gap, and there's Charlie Summers under pressure by Tim DeLisle once again. There they are, side by side. Oh, sorry, Stevie, go on.
No, I was to say, Charlie's been defending this for the entire lap. And he's still going, and he's just lost that position to Tim DeLisle. I caught it last lap. I don't know who was trying to overtake who, but they were scrapping through turn 4. We then saw it through 6 and 7, and the result is now Charlie is behind.
Yes, and then he's got Cortese and Kessler for company right behind him. There go the Sim RC car and the Rogue Army Racing team. Oh, look at that. That's Kessler getting right alongside Charlie Summers. Good start, but does seem to be unravelling a little bit for Charlie Summers at the moment. And look at that. That's Cortese just grabbing any slipstream he can. Don't make it 3 wide, gentlemen. That'll end in tears. Charlie Summers doing what he can. He's been defending pretty much all race long. He doesn't really care who he's defending against. He's defending against everybody at the moment. But, wow, Charlie Summers seems to... Yeah, started well. He's up 1 position, but he's falling backwards a bit. It's a bit unusual, that one.
It is. We've seen Charlie before. He's very aggressive and likes to make his very committed moves. The other one to be on the charge for the opening half of that lap was Phil Reed. At one point, he was like less than a tenth and a half through the fastest part of the circuit, turn 6 and 7. He was so close to Rene, but towards this latter half of the lap, Rene seemed to have built a bit of a gap.
We've lost a few, unfortunately. Milne, Domino, Butelaar and Robertson seem to have vanished, unfortunately. It's a bit of a shame. Certainly Milne and Domino have been through the pits. We lost Butelaar and Robertson on the first lap. Great shame, but that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Here comes Phil Reed again on the tail of Rene Osterkamp, on the nose of the car 44 the team AOR Orange. Is going to have a think about the inside of turn 4. No, he knows better than to try and move like that. But rather like what we saw last... Oh, what's happened to Canute?
He's just been passed by Bob around the outside at turn 4. That's a committed move.
So he's kept it on the tarmac. I wondered if he'd gone off there, but Canute Martinson hasn't gone too well. He started 8th. He's lost 2 already. But Phil Reed is really piling on the pressure. The 1.4 ahead of Conor Ryan now. But yeah, Phil Reed is having an absolutely cracking run. It's a shame he's lost his teammate. Now AOR Orange down to just a single driver with Kerry Nolden's retirement from this and sadly the Formula Renault 3.5 League. Oh, Rene's round! Whoa, and Phil panicked to try and avoid hitting him. Oh, what a rare mistake from Rene Osterkamp. Where's he's down to 7. Look at that. And Phil Reed is losing positions. Conor Ryan now leads the race.
That was unfortunate for Rene. He clipped a little too much of the curb on the inside of the final corner, and he just unsettled the car, and around he went. Not only is the leader binned it, 2nd place went with him.
Yeah, Phil Reed.
Conor Ryan must think it's Christmas.
Absolutely, yeah. Just Phil Reed very much like, get out of the way, and you know you've got a split second to make that decision. Rene Osterkamp is in the pits.
Yeah, he's going to want to see if he's got any floor damage, and because they have to take tyres, he's going to want a new set of tyres to just make sure that they aren't overheated. There's no damage to them, so he's out, and he's going to have some pretty clear air as well. So this might not be the worst idea for him. He's certainly got speed. He's now got to use it, but he has just made his afternoon a lot harder.
Phil Reed's gotten back up into 5th, gone past Cortese fairly easily. But Tim Delisle now on Conor Ryan's case now for the lead. Rene Osterkamp has been through the pits. Fairly short stop, 6.1. Stationary 4th, so nothing too bad, but he finds himself towards the tail of the field, of course. Mandatory pit stop, as mentioned. I wouldn't have thought Rene would have wanted to have pitted quite so early, but some people do.
Yeah, from what we found last Monday in the GT League, people were pitting early because they forgot to put enough fuel in to do the rest of the race. It can happen. Oh, Tim Delisle's close.
He is. Oh, someone's
going for it into turn 1. Oh, Conor Ryan. Oh, kind of left him space, but Tim didn't quite commit to it. He showed his nose though, and it was enough to spook Ryan away from the apex. But that could all just be setting him up for a run towards turn 4.
One of them topped out. We heard one of them bouncing off the rev limiter there. Oh, yeah, just like cut to the wrong camera. There goes Tim Delisle to take the lead, coming into turn 4. Is Conor Ryan going to be able to string this run around the outside of 5? He wants the inside line then for 6, 7 and 8. He's hanging on in there. No, he's had to settle behind Tim Delisle. And that is... oh, what's happened to Canute? Canute's miles off the track. What's happened to you?
I'm going to assume it's turn 4, or he's been hit.
He was turn 4.
Looks like... Oh! It snapped on him on entry.
How strange.
That is strange. That doesn't usually happen. That's not how downforce is supposed to work.
No.
So I would suspect either something has just caught him out, or he just wasn't ready for that to react in that way.
Charlie Summers then, after his initial kind of pace worries, now up to third and now right with Connor Ryan to try and climb his way further up the grid. He's got a bit of gap between himself and Patrick Kessler. So he's got a tiny bit of breather space. Now's the time he needs to use it in the slipstream of Connor Ryan. I think it's Connor Ryan that is topping out before they get into turn one. You just hear that little engine bouncing off the rev limit. Oh, what's happened to Miles? What's happened to Marcel Miles? You've had an incident of some description. You were in lag when, or lag to me at least, when it happened. So I don't know what happened there, sadly.
I'll try and find out for you.
But he's dropped through the field. He was up to 12th or so, and now finds himself down in 23rd. So an incident then for Marcel Miles. Go on.
He, oh no, he had contact. He had contact with Evan Imre at turn 1 on the last lap. Which then put him off the road between turns 1 and 2. And he got spun around. Then he was off the road. So he's had some trouble.
he's had an argument with a few things. Oh, look at this, Charlie Summers. Now it's difficult to kind of you're really setting up a move and piling the pressure on through the twisties, really from turn 6 through to Junxiao turn 12, which is now where they find themselves. Whoa, Charlie, that's a lot of track you're using up there. But how are we on incidents so far? The only person that's earned themselves quite a few is actually Marcel Miles. He's on 8. Everybody else fairly well behaved. Here he comes, and there goes Charlie Summers, and he's going to nail that position, that overtake. That's Connor Ryan. No answer to that. So Charlie Summers up to second, nearly a second between himself and Tim Delisle. So we'll see.
Using all of the road a little bit more on the exit of turn 2. He was on the curb. Oh, Patrick Kessler's under pressure from Phil Reed. Patrick went very defensive coming out of turn 3, but I don't know if Phil's going to sit behind him into 4. It looks like he's going to.
He could attempt. We've seen it into turn 8. That's going to be his next opportunity. Go on.
Cortese's just run wide at turn 4 behind them. So that's just cost him a little bit of time.
And that's going to throw him into the hands of Alain Tessier. Oh, is Phil Reed staying right with the SimRC branded car 28? No, Patrick had that one very, very much covered off. He knew what Mr. Reed had in mind.
Phil seems to have so much more speed in the mid part of the lap. He seems like he was all over the back of Rene when they were neck and neck, right up the gearbox of the SimRC car.
Now, we were talking before we came on air about who's going to run high downforce. I wonder if Phil's opted to stay. Again, running every bit of track he can coming out of Junxiao. But yeah, the middle part of the track is pretty much from the end of the back straight. Well, I say middle part, that's certainly sector 2. Starts at turn 4 and ends at turn 11. So that's a lot of twisties there. So is he running higher downforce than the rest?
I don't know. It's a lot of it could just be the rest of the setup with how you run the tyres, how you run the suspension. But there's definitely going to be a benefit to running a lower downforce here because that uphill section is long. That is a long straight, and we've seen a lot of moves into turn 1 already.
Oh, here he comes.
Patrick's going defensive into turn 4. Phil's not going to try and go around the outside here. But this could just be a sweet setting up move to try and get the switch back on him. But Patrick looks to have him covered at the minute.
I reckon he is. I reckon Phil Reed is running higher downforce than the rest because when he's in the slipstream, my God, does he get a benefit from it?
It certainly looks that way. He certainly has a lot more pace through these slower speed corners, it seems.
Oh, spin up! That's Velanet. What's happened to you, car number 42? So that's come off. That's come out of the centre S's, out of the Curve de Sol, heading down towards turn 4. He's making a move on 198. That's Jordan Pierce, and he's going. Yeah, he did. He caught that apex. We were informed that it's turn 4 and 5 apexes are pretty nasty, along with the centre S's 1 and 2. So that's caught a few people out so far.
Yeah, Phil once again trying to pressure Patrick. Patrick's gone back to the outside. It's turn 1. Phil's going to have the inside for this. There should be move done if he can get it slowed down. It looks like he can. Patrick decided to concede that one, I think, there.
I think you're right, but this is where the downforce are going to act against him. So, watching back from Phil Reed. Wow, Kessler jumped to the inside really early. That was a bit odd. did not expect. If he was going to try and slipstream Phil, why did he jump out of the slipstream so early?
I don't know. It might just be just trying to not pick the fight now, have the fight later.
Yeah.
There was just a bit of a scrap going on, by the way, between Sarah Dove and Luca Verani.
That's exactly where I'm looking. Yeah.
They were scrapping through turns 1 and 2. Verani had it done, but then ran wide on the exit of 2, and they're side by side up coming towards 6 and 7. That's going to be brave.
And Erka Lindström just going, go on then, crash into each other. I'm waiting for it. Oh, still side by side.
Sarah on the outside. This could be bad. She could lose a second position to Erka if she's not careful. Nope, she's ready to keep that one. She couldn't get past Verani, but she didn't lose one to Lindström. So I think that's a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim DeLar now leads by 1.2 seconds up front. Connor Ryan still 7/10 off the back of Charlie Summers. Look at this pack here. Oh! That was Luca Verani. Go on.
I was just saying, I was just exclaiming at what was happening.
Yeah, that was so close. Look at this, 3 wide, possibly 5 cars involved in this. Alexander Waldo and Knut Martinsson in there as well. This could go horribly, horribly wrong into turn 1. Let's see who's going to win out. That's Erka Lindström that's gone through and is actually now up into the lead of this particular train. Look at that! What a brilliant move by car 98, the VRT iRacing orange car. He's in the chaos of mayhem that was caused by that one tiny mistake by Luca Verani, and he's capitalised on that, gotten to the head. Look at that though, that's Martinson and Waldo on the back of that particular train. So wow, what a conga line going on here. Kessler's still hanging on to the back of Phil Reed as well. That's a battle for 4th. So the AOR orange car is yet to break away. He's got 1.5 seconds to close down to, actually slightly less than that, 1.3 seconds to close down to Connor Ryan. So he's still charging on. Rene Osserkamp is now up to 18th position after his pit stop. So don't rule him out, but he's got a lot of people ahead of him that probably won't be pitting just yet.
Absolutely. The of people that have pitted so far, we've got Stuart Mill, Jukka Suominen. Oh no, yes he has. He's been through the pits. It doesn't say he's counted though.
Suominen has. Yeah. Oh yeah, so he hasn't.
Oh wait, I wonder if he had a. Let me check. I'll do some information. I'll come back to you on that one.
Has he had a penalty to serve?
I'm going to check.
Because him and Stuart Milne have done the same thing.
No, I think what happened was I just watched him go through the pit lane a couple of laps ago. He pulled over as if he was going into his pit box, and then he lagged out. So I assume he took a pit stop. Our software didn't pick it up there.
Under lag, yeah. That's fair enough.
But I'm pretty sure he's picked it.
Yeah, I would have taken that if he has. Look at that 5-car train still going on, all behind Erka Lindström. And Alexander Waldo looks like he's shaping up for a move on Knut Martinsson. That's for 14th position. Doesn't commit to that one. He's biding his time a little bit.
Knut got a little bit on the exit curve at turn 4. It's going to leave him a little vulnerable. It's going to take a hell of a lunge from Waldo. But Knut's gone wide to avoid him, but Waldo didn't commit to it.
He started to commit his nose, but didn't follow that one through. So the Super Swede car number 4 having to stay at the back of that particular train, driven by Erka Lindström. There he is. Then it's Dove Verani in the purple cars directly behind him. So that's got a lot of scrapping going on in that particular train. Phil Reed's fallen a little bit off the back of Connor Ryan. 1.3 seconds is the gap between 4th and 3rd, and the same 3rd to 2nd. At the top. Go on.
We've got a little gaggle of cars forming up behind Alain Tessier. We've got Loic Barb and Daniel J. Morris both behind him, and all 3 of them locking up going into turn 1. They're all about 6/10-ish between each other.
Oh, Verani and Dove. Sorry, Stevie. They were side by side. That's Sarah Dove, I think, is defending that position. Yeah, she remains in 12th position, but yeah, that was side by side coming into turn 1. Here he comes again, the privateer Swiss man, Swiss driver, looking to make the move. There he goes, and he's got that one long since done before they get to turn 4. But we've seen how Sarah is able to attack and try and get the positions back again. So that fight is not done, but that is allowing Erka Lindström to really start to stretch his legs. It's a second now between himself and that chasing pack. So he has a bit of breathing space to deal with. Charlie Summers is on a bit of a charge. There is race leader Tim DeLisle, so that lead is gone. That's now only 7/10 up front. And there behind them is Phil Reed on Conor Ryan. Phil Reed has dropped Kessler by about a second. So the charging car 44 can concentrate on Conor Ryan mainly now. So there's a lot of battling up front to be resolved.
Absolutely. The last lap before this one just started, Charlie took half a second out of Tim's lead. Wow. Which is pretty impressive considering how close these guys were. And like you said earlier, Tim topped practice. And he was on the front row, so he's certainly got some pace. And Charlie started down in 6th place, so clearly qualifying didn't quite go as well as he'd hoped.
Knut Martinsson, what a move outside of turn 1 on Sarah Dove to take 13th position. What's happened to Jordan Pierce? Has anything happened to Jordan Pierce? No, I don't think so. Just Alexander Waldo came into the pit, so it upset the numbers slightly. So,
oh, that's interesting for those around him, though. Because he was at the back of that Lindstrom, Vrani, Dove, Martinson group.
He was.
So he might be thinking, right, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to get my pit stop out of the way, try and get some clear air, and try and get ahead of you. I'll be interested to see if that works, because Slipstream can gain you quite a lot of time here. So it'll be interesting to see if he can pull that off, but we'll keep an eye on him.
We saw Evan do the early pit stop quite well at Browns, so I think it was Browns or Donny,
yep.
One or two.
Yep, Browns.
And he really pulled that off very well. I wondered why he did it so early, and then I was surprised, unfairly surprised that he was like up in 5th. The next time I looked at him.
Oh no! Oh, okay. Charlie's in the pit. I saw him drop down the order and thought, oh no, what's happened? But Charlie is pitting from 2nd place. We are over halfway through this race already.
Yes, we are. Phil Reed on the back of Conor Ryan now because of Charlie's pit stop. That's been elevated up. They've been elevated up rather into 3rd and 2nd. Phil Reed again. He's biding his time.
Oh, this could be bad for Charlie, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. He's come out just behind, or in the middle of that big train. That could work out very poorly for him. His bonus is he does have 2 AOR cars in there that may be nice to him. But they're equally fighting for they're in their own race at the minute, so I'm not sure they're going to be quite so willing to get out of his way.
Brady Osterkamp now up to 16th position. That's David Santana directly ahead. He's not actually far off the back of that 5-car train. So our championship leader could well get involved. Now look at this, Phil Reed on the back of Conor Ryan again, coming through the Bica de Pato. 10 and now through 11, which is Mugello, and then Jun Xiao at 12. Here we go again. Oh, Phil was a tiny bit wider coming through turn 12 than Conor was.
He's close enough, he should be able to have a go though.
Is anyone going to dive into the pits? Let's see. Nope, neither of them are. Yep, exactly as he said. There he goes. Jumped to the inside. Didn't look like Conor Ryan attempted to defend that one. There in the background is Patrick Kessler, and that's 2nd position to Phil Reed, fairly comfortably, has to be said. And there he goes. René Osterkamp's gone up into 15th position. Charlie Summers is, as we said before, he's on the back of the... Look at that lot.
Charlie, this is how... I mean, we give...
What's happened to Osterkamp?
Osterkamp is still 15th.
I thought he was going slowly. Now, beg your pardon. It was just the way the angle looked. Because I saw Santana jump out from behind him. I wondered if Osterkamp was suddenly going slowly. But no, I was just put off slightly by camera angles. Here comes Charlie Summers on the back of Sarah Dove. Yeah, Sarah's not really going to try and defend that one. Fair enough. It's a long way down the back straight. That's understandable. And Charlie has been through the pit, so that's not a battle she's realistically in. So that is absolutely fine. So that's now Knut Martinsson, his next target. And up front, Phil Reed continues to push Conor Ryan. Go on.
I'm confused. Didn't he get past Conor Ryan into turn 1?
He did.
Did I dream that?
No, he did. So
I'm going to watch what happened back.
Yes.
Oh, he ran wide at turn 4.
That dreaded turn 4
once again. He ran a little wide at turn 4 and had to take the runoff, which allowed Conor straight back through.
Well, here we go again then. So they're going to repeat exactly the same thing. So once again, Conor doesn't defend that inside line. Kessler's a bit closer this time. Now up into 2nd once again for Phil Reed. I'm going to watch him this time. So I looked away from him at the point that... Oh, Morris and Barb are pretty close together. So I said I wasn't going to look away from Phil Reed, and that's exactly what I've just done. And Erka Lindstrom's in. What's happened to Knut? Knut's just been passed with Charlie Summers. And just, and the tail of Phil's car got a little bit lively coming into turn 4, but has managed to keep that one going. And on they go then. Phil Reed hanging on to second position. Daniel Morris on the back of Loic Barb. That's a battle for 7th. That rages on. Charlie Summers is past Canute now. So he's gained another couple of positions from when he pitted. Rene Osserkamp up to what is now 14th due to others pitting, I think. Or unless someone... Oh, yeah, it was Erka Lindström that pitted. That's elevated those guys up. So he's trying to recover as well. Tim Delisle now leads Phil Reed by 3.7 seconds. Phil Reed continuing his charge. Does Delisle come into the pits? Well over the halfway stage now.
Well, just to point out, Charlie Summers' last lap was a 24.9. Tim Delisle, 25.2.
Now, 50 would be a problem.
Yes, that would be very bad. Someone's just jumped in the pits. Phil Reed's in the pits now. But I'm going to keep an eye on the lap time between Charlie and Tim.
Indeed. So Charlie's able to get in the benefit of the slipstream around him. That's Luca Verani. As you can see, directly ahead of him. A lot of people still to come in the pits. Not many people have actually been through yet. So usually most people have been through the pits by now. Where is Phil going to reappear? He's off the jacks now. Slightly longer than some, but not too bad. He's going to end up behind that battle that Charlie's ever finds himself in. So
yeah, the bonus is that, like you say, a lot of people haven't paired. There's going to be a big gaggle of cars all come in at one go at one point, I'm sure, which is going to clear this track up. But look at that, Rene!
Rene!
Yeah, he's only, what, numbers.
A second?
Seconds.
Yeah, at best, yeah. But... Rene was... after that mistake that Rene had, he dropped away, didn't he? But he was leading at the point that he had that big off moment.
Yeah. So those two should be around about the same.
Yeah, so Phil Reed has essentially jumped Rene Osserkamp, but Rene is going to be on the charge. Phil's now got a face full of cars. So immediately Sarah Dove, then Canute Martinson, then Charlie Summers, who's trying to clear Luca Verani at the front of that particular train.
Yeah, again, it's the same situation as Charlie had, hopefully, for Phil. He's going to be hoping that his sister AOR teammates will be nice to him.
Kessler's
and
in.
Wave him on through.
Patrick Kessler's in. So that's another one of the front runners that is come in, along with Loic Barb. So another few pit stops dealt with.
Yeah, we've got a few in now as well.
Canutes, I think, has come in. Oh no. So it's just the numbers being tricked by others being in the pits. So, yeah. Who have we got then? So Sarah Dove.
Passed by Phil Reed. She's not fought that one too hard into turn 1.
Rene hasn't. I thought he'd close up. He was.
Kessler is just behind Rene.
Oh, yeah, there they are. So the two CMRC teammates now together on track.
I think Rene may have his immediate try and recover from that incident and immediately getting clear out. I think what he's just done is salvage himself a top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, a little bit of a battle further down. Luca Verani and Erka Lindström have come out of the pits then. There is Tom Van Hooyman. He hasn't come through the pits yet. He's involved in that battle. Oh, go on.
You know what that means, don't you?
Go on.
It means it hasn't worked for Waldo. Waldo's a few seconds back from Verani and Lindström, and he was already at the back of that group, and he seems to have lost some time from them.
Whoa, look at
Verani and Lindström is super side by side through this midfield section. Oh, if you go on the inside there, it's going to be very tight. It's very easy to get a wobble on the exit of that corner as well, so that was very well driven from both of them.
Oh,
both locking up into that corner, and now they've got the left-hander as well. Verani will not be allowed to let go of Lindström there, but he's got the outside line, and he's sure. That could have been bad.
Yeah, that could have gone horribly wrong. Evan is in. I think that was Canute. Is also no.
Oh no, Sarah's had a spin.
Oh no, where's Sarah? Where is she?
She is at turn 1. She's hit the inside curb at turn 1.
Oh
she
no!
Hasn't hit anything, but it's thrown her off.
Oh, right with Rene Osserkamp right behind her. Oh, there she went. Oh yeah, Rene read that perfectly. That's quick recovery with them for Sarah Dove. She remains in 10th, but without a pit stop. Charlie Summers is still our lead car that has pitted. Phil Reed 1.6 behind her, and then her. We're still thinking Sarah Dove. So 1.6 behind Charlie, and then 1.6 behind Phil is Rani Osterkamp. So the essential top 3 are pretty close together. Then Kessler, wow, Kessler's fallen 2.1 behind Rani already. So
our leader's in as well. And I think unless Tim makes a hash of the pit entrance, which he doesn't look like he's done, or his pit stop, I think Charlie's going to come out a little bit further back than where he was. Last 3 laps from Tim Delisle have all been high 24, sorry, and Charlie's have all been low 25s.
We will see then, as a 7-second stop for Delisle. There was only 0.4 seconds difference between the two, whereas Summers, that's Tim Delisle's. We look back from the gearbox of car 17 as he comes nice and steady on the back. There is Charlie Summers. That's 3 seconds. There enough. The difference between the two. There's Phil Reed and Rene Osterkamp. So Tim Delisle maintains the effective lead of the race. And Sarah Dove is in, so she's now serving her pit stop. New race leader is Connor Ryan. You'll be enjoying that, I'm sure. Then it is newcomer Gio Cortese, and Daniel Morris will round out our current podium, but they will have to come in pretty soon. The only people that haven't gone through the pits yet that I can see are the top 3: Jordan Pierce, Morgan Valanay, Milne and Suominen have been through the pits but haven't stopped. And that is Jordi Maldonado is the only other one yet to pit.
Yeah, the battle between Varani and Lundstrom is still raging on, and Waldo's managed to catch them up because they've been scrapping so hard. Less than 3/10 separate Lundstrom and Varani.
Indeed, that is a battle for 15th position.
Oh, Varani is a little wide. He's not going to be wanting to do that very often.
Oh, I thought we had
we've also got Low Bob pressuring Jordan Pierce out of the final, what I would call the final corner, leading him up over the hill up towards turn 1. This should be an easy-ish move for Loic, although Jordan's defending it.
He left it
make him go the long way around.
He left it very late to jump out from the slipstream, and absolutely fine. That should be job done. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So Loic Barb then takes that 10th position from Jordan Pierce, and on he goes. Merry way, but Jordan Pierce will attack him back. But Jordan, well, there we go, straight away. He didn't waste any time on that one, and has already jumped back up into 10th. But Jordan does have to come through the pits. Will they know that?
Some people will run software that will tell them who has pitted and who hasn't. But if they're just running the base standard stuff you get with iRacing, no. They'll have to either work that for themselves or just not know. Or guess. Okay.
Update from the chat. Apparently Gio Cortese's team is wrong. Though it's not the ROG Army Racing team. Oh, speaking of, he's coming in. He's part of the NWS Esports team. So we'll get the necessary feedback and get that one changed. Thank you very much, Sergio, for updating us on that one. In then from second is Cortese. Where is our lead pack? There is Tim Delisle. There, what has he got? 2 seconds between himself and Charlie Summers. Oh, Rene is closing back in on Phil Reed. Cortese's going to be right with him as well.
Yeah, he's going to come out right behind that potential scrap ahead of him. It's crazy to me. The top, if you go off the top 5 that have pitted, they're only separated by like 10 seconds.
I was going to say, yeah, barely anything. So absolutely fair play. And we only have, what, 7 laps-ish? So, well, 7.5 minutes. So that is what remains of this lap. So of this race, rather. They don't have a lot of time to sort out their finishing order. Is
absolutely.
Anyone close to the incident limit? No. Is the answer to that. Who's running on 0? Patrick Kessler. Erika Lindström, Alexander Waldo, and that's it. That's our, not even Canoe Martinson, famous for running with 0 incidents. Not even he's managed in this race, but
no, he had that spin early on, so
that's true.
Giving him 2 incidents at least for that.
Connor Ryan's in. Our race leader is in. So
yeah,
go on.
So that leaves puts Daniel J. Morris up to lead a lap. To claim the honour of leading a lap.
Oh, big wobble coming through turn 2 for Danny Morris.
Don't throw it away. You're not even leading for one corner.
Oh dear, oh dear. So where is Conor Ryan going to... Wow, he's determined. Big old snap of oversteer coming out of the pit lane. And Jordan Pierce and Morgan Vallenay also come in from 11th and 12th.
Would you like to know a fun fact about this pit lane exit?
Go on.
It's incredibly easy to spin out of.
I can believe it, because it's the way the undulations happen.
The way the undulation happens, and the moment you lift off, take the pit limiter off, especially in a car like this that doesn't have traction control, incredibly easy to press that, spin the wheels up, and spin around.
Oh, Phil Reed's
really embarrassing.
Who spun? Oh, it's Charlie Summers! No, it was Charlie Summers that spun. Oh no! Out-turner. Oh, wow, that's a lot of curb. Charlie Summers from a potential second? Yeah. Oh dear.
He's going to be so annoyed with himself. Oh, that was a close call with Gio Cortese there as well. As he rejoined, he was kind of just trying to get in gear and get going again. Racing Osterkamp's pretty close to Phil Reed as well now.
Yeah, Osterkamp turned it up to 11. He's got his foot through the floor. Oh, wow, look at that. He gained 4/10 or 3/10 just over on Phil Reed last time around. We have got 4 racing laps to go. 5 minutes on the clock. That's going to be a tense 5 minutes for Phil Reed. But he's...
Summers is putting the pressure heavily on Patrick Kessler as well.
Oh.
Kessler went very defensive out of turn 3, making Charlie go the long way around.
Oh, that's done. Oh, is it? Or is it? Oh, that was close.
Charlie squeezed Patrick as much as he could to the inside, but fair racing from both of them. Charlie managed to immediately recover one of the positions he lost. I think he's going to struggle. He might get Cortese, but after that, I think he's going to struggle.
It's going to take a mistake from someone, but as has been displayed, it's very, very easy to do. Kessler's not letting that go at all. Osterkamp still on the back of Phil Reed. Daniel Morris is leading the race, but he'll have to come in or be disqualified.
He's still going, to be fair.
I'm surprised that he's leaving. I hope he hasn't forgotten.
It would be a shame if he's forgotten.
Let's see what he does.
It would be a great shame. I think he's coming in. Yeah.
Nope. He's hanging on to the lead for as long as he can. Luca Verani is on the back of Erka Lindström, who in turn is on the back of Kanu Martinson, who in turn is not far off his teammate Evan Imre. So a big battle potentially forming there, but René Osterkamp on the back of Phil Reed still. 3 laps to go. And Phil Reed, this is going to be an absolute show of how well he can defend. Both of them coming out of the SNRSs and Curva del Sol pretty well. Phil is poised to defend the inside line coming through 4. Didn't need to, but he knows where he's going to have to defend from that ever-charging René Osterkamp, which is never, ever an easy thing to do. But on he goes then, and he's got 3 more laps with which to defend for.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I always feel like it's weird seeing Phil defending from someone. I'm so used to seeing him move forward and overtaking people. There are some... Oh, René running a little wide out of that left-hander there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to try pronouncing the names because I will massacre them.
That'll be the Peronino, turn number 9.
That was side by side. Oh, Verani and Lindström will not be separated. They tried to go side by side through turn 6. I have not seen 2 cars fight so hard for a long time.
This is the 13th position between Verani and Lindström. Vallenay and Jordan Pierce getting involved in the action as well for 17th position. They've been side by side and switching their names on the marker for a while, and still Danny Morris has not pitted. He's leaving that to the very, very last second before he does. Osterkamp, he had a horrible run through the SNRSs. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, there's Phil Reed lagging, and René Osterkamp lagging, or lagging to me at least. What happened here? Oh, he caught that. Lord, look at that. He caught that inside line coming on the exit of the SNRSs. That apex at 2 just pushed him wide and then compromised his line through 3. So that's given Phil Reed a second's worth of breathing space. Jordan Pierce and Morgan Vallenay still having their battle. Still side by side. They've been pretty much like that for quite a lot of the lap now. Who's going to win out? Is it going to be Jordan? Is it going to be Morgan? It looks like it's Morgan Volane for now. Still up front though.
Oh, we've got a scrap going on between. Oh no, Evan's off! He was side by side with his teammate and he's dropped it running wide through turn 5.
Yeah, I literally just cut to him as he hit the wall. He's way off at 4.
He wasn't even fighting him. He just got wide through 4.
Oh, ouch.
How's he done that?
There's a huge bump out there.
And then there's the bump.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be annoyed at himself for that.
Still Pierce and Volane. That's for 17th. They're still side by side. Go on.
Morris is finally in the pits.
I was thinking, please don't forget. Hands the lead back over to Tim
final lap, by the way.
Yep, confirmed.
We've skipped one.
Yeah, spotted that. So Tim Delisle still leads. Phil Reed now up to second. And he's got himself a second's gap to Rene Osterkamp. That could be all he needs to hang on to that potential podium position. Then it is Cortese 4. Charlie Summers with that mistake, that very costly mistake he made, is now up to 5th with Kessler in hot pursuit. Then Connor Ryan in 7th position. Tessier in 8th. Morris comes out of the pits in 9th. And Loic Barb is going to round out our top 10 for the moment, but still time for that to completely change. As 3 seconds is the lead. I mean, after 27 racing laps, the lead is only under 3 seconds between Delisle and Reed.
Yeah, and Tim Delisle is not even in the top 15 in the championship. So from Rene Osterkamp's point of view, this is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Here he comes then, your winner here in Interlagos for the feature race is the Australian privateer. If he had lights, he'd be flashing them, but he's going to be very happy with that. That is Tim Delisle. Phil Reed crosses the line in 2nd, 1.1 ahead of Rene Osterkamp 3rd. Gio Cortese in 4th position. Patrick Kessler is going to be 5. Well, bit of a oh no, sorry, it was Charlie Summers in 5. The numbers are switching round for me. Charlie Summers did indeed hang on to 5th. Kessler 6th. Still jumping around. The numbers can't decide who's going to be finishing where. Rene Osterkamp's always very quick to jump back to the pits, I noticed.
Yeah, sometimes they are. We do have a scrap still going on towards the end of the lap. It's Jordan Pierce once again on the attack of Morgan Volane. He was trying to have a go on the final corner, but he's set this up, and he may get this. The tow up this hill is pretty impressive. It's going to be nip and tuck as if you can get him at the line though.
Here he comes. Slipstream. Can car 42 hold on? Straight lining towards the finish. And I think it is indeed Jordan Pierce that has hung on to that. Yep, it is indeed. Volane is listed as 16th. Wow, that was very close between those two. Who's still running? Evan Imre continued with half a car.
Oh, he's going to rue that. He's going to hate that mistake.
Absolutely. Right.
The thing is that, sorry, it's one of those things that you don't go out there, you don't practice being out there. No. So you probably just wouldn't have known about that bump.
To confirm the results then, Tim Delisle takes the win, Reed 2, Osterkamp 3, Cortese 4, Summers 5, Kessler 6, Ryan 7, Tessier 8, Morris 9, Barb 10, Martinson 11, Lindstrom 12, Varani 13, Waldo 14, Dove 15, Volane 16, Pierce 17, Imre 18, Suominen and Mill 1920, and then Sierra, Hoyman, Maldonado, Santana. Well, Santana didn't see the so Maldonado's the last finisher, and our retirees are Santana, Miles, Domino, Butala, and Robertson.
Whew. That went by really fast.
Didn't it just? What a race it was.
Yep, and we've got one more coming up. We're going to have a little break, and then we'll come back with a little bit of a warm-up for the drivers. And then they're going to have a qualifying session, and they're going to get 1 timed lap. So pressure on.
Oh, very much so. They've got to get out and get on with it. It's difficult to do that straight after a break as well. It's, a lot of people, myself included, it takes a while to kind of get back into the rhythm. So we could well see some really interesting results. But do bear with us. So we're going to go to a break now. Bear with us whilst we do so. We'll be back with you as quickly as we can.
say when there are no words. Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. Let 'em roll from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me. It's just a matter of style. You can't fake it. Mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out. Let 'em roll from sea to shining sea. Cannonball. Hey, now cannonball. 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 Cannonball.
it's that time again. Wind him up and let him go! What do you say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of time. You can't fake it. Mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move them out, let them roll from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? When your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me. It's just a matter of style. You can't fake it. Mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move them out. Let them roll from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. Hey now, cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. Ooh, cannonball. Woo-hoo. Cannonball. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apex Online Racing iRacing Formula 3 League Season number 1, Round 4. Here at Interlagos, will be getting our sprint race underway very, very shortly. Most of our drivers have returned to us. How are we feeling after the first round, Mr. Stevie?
Very excited for what's to come.
Oh, yes.
That was such a good show they put on. So I can't wait to see what this changed format is going to throw up for us now.
Here we go then. So it is a single shot qualifying. Again, it is not a shared road. They get the track to themselves, but they only have 5 minutes with which to do anything. René Oosterkamp and Patrick Kessler very quick off the blocks in getting out there. But I doubt it. Go on.
You're going to want to be out there pretty quickly. Like I said earlier with the other qualifying, you don't get to finish your lap.
Yes.
So if you say it's a minute and a half for an out lap, that leaves you 3.5 minutes, and then you have a minute and a half to do your lap. You know, you're going to be pushing that time pretty close. You're not going to want to hanging around in the pits too long.
Where is our round 1 race winner?
Lyle.
He's
number 17.
There he is. I was worried for a moment that he hadn't returned to us. I think we have slightly less than we did last time.
Yes, it looks like we've got a few that aren't here. Domino, Robertson appear to not be here.
We've lost 4. Domino's not with us, I think.
Yeah, Robertson isn't.
Bit of a shame, but it's the way that it is. Sometimes real life takes over, or people have had some difficulty. We will see. I'm going to ride on board with Mr. Delisle.
Who has
stopped? No.
If he wants a lap, he needs to be out there now.
Quick. Yeah, he needs to get on with it.
Oh, that's brave.
All right,
that's very brave.
We'll go with René Oosterkamp then as he comes into turn 1. Let's ride on board with him. Here he comes in, down through the center S's. Turn 2, needs to be careful with these curves. We've seen them catch out a few people. Covered a Sol, they can ride that one fairly well. Stays very hard over the left hand side, and right in the middle of the track. Let's go wander very gently over to the right for the dreaded Decita de Lago turn 4. It's caught so many people out last time, and I expect it's going to catch a few people out this time as well. Through turn 5, now going to come back up the hill for the Ferratura. Curve turn 6, sweeps through the right. Now turn 7, I can't pronounce properly. Now turn 8, rides the curves quite nicely. Of course, lower speeds, less risk with it. Now Peronino, turn 9, back uphill again. Only 2.5 minutes for anybody to get that time on the board. The Bica de Pato, turn 10. Now back downhill again. Mugello, turn 11. That's where the whole is that Glock moment happened. Then Jun Xiao riding that right of the AstroTurf as much as he's allowed on the right hand side. Foot flat on the floor now all the way through to turn 1. 13, 14. Here he comes. He's staying absolutely nailed to the left hand side. Ignores the pit lane entry course, jumps over the white lines. Oh, nearly hits the wall. And what is it for René Oosterkamp? A 1:25.604. He was quicker than that last time around. Kessler 25.7 as the times now start to roll in. Marcel Miles. Phil Reed with a 25.0.
This is going to happen a lot. I think people are going to get an influx of lap times. Tim Lyle didn't manage to start his lap. He will manage to get out there. Oh, what's he done?
Second.
Oh, wow, second place. Lovely stuff from Knut Martin ahead of René Oosterkamp. I was about to say, it's really interesting how people are going to approach this, because some, they've got nothing to lose. Just go for it as fast as you can. And if you get off track, oh well. There are others, championship contenders, that need to get a lap in, that may back off that little bit. And with a grid so close as we saw before, top 19 or 18 within a second, and backing off a little bit could be massively different.
Connor Ryan's jumped up to second. Jordi Maldonado up to third. Well, just 0.04 of a second off Connor Ryan. Nice effort there for the Mexican driver. Where is Tim Delisle? Oh, here he comes. He's going to finish the lap. He's coming over the line, or will be very shortly. He's coming across the pit lane entrance. And Gio Cortese jumps up into second. Very nicely done. What does our previous race winner do? It's the pole time by 3.5 tenths, 1:24.743. Ooh, you have 30 seconds left to do anything about it. Oh, Loic Barb, 6th position by 1/1000th of a second behind Maldonado. So that is very close. Luis de la Sierra. Let's try that again. Luis de la Sierra. I'm going to get that wrong a few times. Is not going to get anywhere close to finishing that. Where is David Santana? Oh, no. Not convinced you're going to finish that from there. In fact, you're not going to get anywhere near finishing it. No.
Oh, it's going to be... Nope. So we've got Charlie Summers, didn't get a lap in. Oh, we've got a lot of people as well.
Oh, my. Tim Delisle and Phil Reed lock out the front row then. Cortese, Connor Ryan, 3 and 4. Maldonado, Barb. Martinson was pushed down to 7th in the end. Then Miles. Osterkamp down to 9th. Wow. Waldo, Kessler. And then Valanace, Morris, Imre, Lindstrom, Dove, Suominen, Heumann, Mill, Tessier, Summers, all the way down there in 21st. Not a time on the board. Well, Tessier downwards didn't get a time on the board. Then Varani, Santana, Pierce, and Sierra. 25 races this time around. Oh, what a race we're going to have.
I am looking forward to this. Rennie Osterkamp, I can't get over it.
I know!
8 tenths off pole position, but I think that was just I need to set a time.
Yeah.
But it's put him pretty much... He's in the middle of the pack. He's certainly got the speed. And his teammates just behind him. Silverstone are going to have a bit of a tough job this race. But they're probably in better positions than they would be if they'd had the reverse grid. So I think they'll take it as a positive.
Well, true.
But Phil Reed, this is a major opportunity championship-wise for Phil Reed.
Absolutely. Oh, well, again, and Tim Delisle.
Second in the feature race, and now he's on pole for this one.
Well, Tim Delisle is on pole for this one.
Yeah, I meant Phil's on...
Phil's
yeah, he did. Yeah, Phil's on second. Ignore me!
Even the greats make mistakes, I say before. So we're just waiting for... Oh, there's Phil. Just waiting for Sarah Dove to get on the field. And there she is. So we'll be getting this one counting down and underway in the next few seconds. Here we go. They'll see the lights. Unfortunately, we don't from spectators' standpoint. There go the engines. And we're away then for our sprint race here in Interlagos. Phil Reed jumps over to the right, but Tim Delisle's had a terrible start, I think. Oh no, he has managed to fend off Phil Reed. Here they come then into... Whoa, no, big lock-up then for Delisle. That's given Phil Reed the lead. Oh no, there's someone spun as Maldonado. Oh, Jordi Maldonado, I think, has spun. He has indeed falling all the way through the field. Delisle now down to second. Where is Osterkamp? There he is in that middle of the pack. Lots and lots of cars behind him. There is... I was going to say, that is Waldo in the middle of that pack. He's had a pretty good start. Not too bad for him. As always, at the start of the race, it's very difficult to know where to look. So Phil Reed lead then. He's already got himself half a second over Tim Delisle. Then Cortese, who's under a lot of pressure by Connor Ryan. Marcel Miles up to 5th position. He's had a pretty decent start there. Is Rennie Osterkamp bouncing over the curb. He's wanted to get on with the job. He's got ahead of Canoe Martinson. Wow, that was a very brave move for Osterkamp, but he's got to do it. He's only got 24 minutes left to do something about it. So, of course, the shorter sprint race really puts the pressure on to recover from a bad start.
Yeah, we've also got Morgan Valone in a scrap with Hercules, and both of these drivers were in their own respective fights in the last race, and they're starting off this one in a fight.
Here comes Osterkamp. That's Marcel Mars we're looking at. Oh, Morris has gone. Morris has had a trouble. Oh, he's not gone.
No, he's still going. No, he's recovered.
Connor Ryan and side by side with Cortese. See, Connor Ryan's going to take third. Look at Delisle on the back of Phil Reed for the lead, but doesn't quite make that move stick. Then Osterkamp has got ahead of Marcel Myers. There's Martinson and Waldo with Kessler. Kessler's not moved. Well, he's just forcing his way past Alexander Waldo, just as I say that. But Osterkamp's gone. Left his teammate for dead. There you can see that's Connor Ryan and Cortese again side by side. Oh, wow, that's Rennie Osterkamp on the back of... no, beg your pardon, that's Canoe Martinson on the back of Marcel Miles, jostling away from position.
Oh, no, Kessler's round.
Oh, I'm trying to click on his name, he keeps moving. Sit still. There we go. Oh, wow, he caught the back of Waldo. Or Waldo caught the back of Kessler, I should say. Bit of a touch there. Oh, Cortese again, side by side with Conor Ryan. So that battle rages on. Then René Osterkamp right with him. Look at that. Osterkamp is a man on a mission.
Yeah, and like you said, he's got to be. He knows Phil Reed's. He will see that Phil Reed's leading. Phil outscored him in the last race, not by a lot, but he outscored him. And if he
big! Sorry, that's for someone facing the wrong way. Who is that? That's supposed to be Hoyman. No, it's not. It's Maldonado. Oh no, it's all gone horribly wrong for our debutant. Sarah Dove's been caught up in that lot as well.
Contact. Yeah, contact. There was contact between him and Yuka Swoman.
Look at this! Look at this lot here. That's I can't see anything from that camera. That is Osterkamp and Cortese, I think, side by side. Yes, it is. But Osterkamp's going to have the inside of the next one. But Cortese, great drive. Oh no, big button. That was Osterkamp with a good drive to hang on to fourth. Then Cortese's going to have the slipstream, which he's perfectly entitled to have a crack at it.
The lead's so close.
Oh no! Just as I jumped to Tim Delisle, he's going to have to wait. Oh no!
That's awful for him. They were so close. Oh, has he just spun again?
Oh no!
He just spun trying to get going. Oh. He's just lit the rears upon the grass and just cost himself even more times. Disaster for him.
Oh, Cortese, that's Knut Martinsson on the outside coming through turn 8. Cortese just manages to fend that on one off. He locked up trying to keep Osterkamp behind him, but Osterkamp now up to third. He's only 4.5 behind, or 4.3 behind Phil Reed, so he's got him in his sights. Oh, Tessier's had trouble as well. He's all the way. Oh, he's in the pits along with Sarah Dove. So first lap trouble then for Dove, Tessier, and Varani as well. We've potentially lost 3. Assuming that Dove and Tessier may not necessarily get going again. Oh, Maldonado's gone. No, Maldonado is still going. Wow, what a hectic first lap.
Absolutely. Well, it's been chaos. I looked further down the grid at one point and there were like 3 different pairs of 3 wides at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. So Miles on the back of Knut Martinsson. As Knut was challenging Cortese earlier on with a bit of a gap there. So the privateer number 72 lining up the AOR yellow car 20. Jumps out of the slipstream a little early, but is too far down the road to try and move. Morris on the back of Volonais, who's on the back of there's Milne in there as well. Oh, Morris wandering wide at turn 4, side by side. Then that's Milne and Volonais with Morris basically just lurking, waiting for something to happen. The bright green 42 is Morgan. Vanonais, Stuart Mills trying to hang on to that is 10th position overall. Now 42 is going to have the inside line. Daniel Morris looking to get involved. Charlie Summers is not too far behind them either. He's going to want to get on with it. He's from his terrible start. Oh, Vanonais is round. Oh no.
It was a really interesting camera angle I just saw there as the car went sideways across the screen.
Oh no, we saw someone, I think it might have been Vanonais again that did that in the sprint race, in the feature race. Ended up on the infield facing downhill. What a great shame.
It's easily done. It's actually a relatively quick corner, but it's just a little twitchy on exit.
Indeed.
Scrapping still up and down the field. Daniel Morris on the back of Stuart Milne still.
Yeah, look at this. This is a big long train. That is indeed Morris and Milne there. Charlie Summers has got that's Pierce and Kessler right behind it. Kessler's fallen. He was up to 9th at one point. He's now down to 14th, so it's gone wrong for him. Oh, he did, yes. Santana was losing positions. That's just a bad run through the center S's. There goes Luis de la Sierra right ahead of him. Oh, wow. It's hard work keeping up with everybody.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
But Phil Reed, 2.5 seconds to the good over Conor Ryan, who leads Osterkamp by 1.3. But now Osterkamp's got no one ahead of him to hold him up. So he's absolutely going to charge, and has no incident point either, is worth noting, is Mr. Osterkamp.
No, he's managed to make his way up 6 places in just under 7 minutes, and has managed to do it perfectly cleanly, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well done. Maldonado brings his car in, and that's probably the last we'll see of Jordi Maldonado. A great shame. Not the way that anybody wants to make their debut, but sometimes it was not meant to be.
Yep. Just an update on Tim Delisle. He's now down in 15th place.
Oh no!
He's only a couple of seconds behind Patrick Kessler. How they ended down there though is very different. Kessler making a move up on Jordan Pierce, which should be relatively easy to do. Although Jordan, we know, likes to fight, and he's not going to let Patrick have that one for free. He's going to have to work for it.
So Omenen's just lost a position to David Santana. And
we've got Evan Imre and Erkel Lindstrom having a scrap as well. So let's go off that.
That's a battle for 7th, so a decent run there. Wow, Evans had a cracking start, up from 14th, so great effort for him. Oh, Kessler and Pierce still very close. Tim Delisle right there as well. That is Charlie Summers already ahead of them. So lots of battling going on. We're already on lap 6 and still the field hasn't really spread out to that bigger degree.
Osterkamp's gaining on Ryan as well. Only 8/10 behind Conor Ryan now for 2nd place.
Yeah,
he's a-coming.
Absolutely. Play the Jaws theme because he's coming to bite. Marcel Miles still on the back of Knut Martinsen, but Knut gained that position a little while ago and has managed to get himself a bit of a gap. Erkel Lindstrom and Evan Imre still having their battle for 7th. There is Alexander Waldo directly behind. Here comes Lindstrom, and that'll surely be an easy move. Evan didn't really defend that. You know how powerful the slipstream is. Even still, the VRT E-Racing orange car staying very much to the inside line, making sure that move was conclusively complete. And that is up to 7th then for Erkel Lindstrom. Rene Osterkamp half a second now behind Conor Ryan. Now 2.8 behind Phil Reed. So there's a bit of a gap. That's a bit of a lead that Phil Reed has for himself, but how long is he going to be able to hang on to it for when that move is going to be a when as opposed to an if? No disrespect meant to Conor Ryan at all, but Rene has just been absolutely fine. He gained half a second in the last lap alone.
Yeah, Rene is absolutely on it at the minute. His last 2 laps, wow. The last 2 laps separated by 0.02 of a second, both with 25.0.
Wow.
He set the fastest lap of the race last lap, and then he beat it by 2,000.
That's amazing. Tim Delisle on the back of Jordan Pierce, battle for 14th position as he's trying to recover from starting on pole position. Is he going to make a move? There he goes. Yeah.
Already so close. He was almost pushing Conor out of the final corner. He's going to get him long before turn 1. Although he may risk going ahead too early and then Conor passing him back with slipstream.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. But Ryan's not slotting in behind him. He kind of conceded that he's not realistically in a battle with the German. So through into 2nd, then 3.2. Here's a Phil Reed's lead. Just saw him at the top of the shot there. So Rene Osterkamp, even though Conor Ryan has every right to attack back, and there he goes. Slipstream off the exit of the Curva del Sol. That's going to give the momentum back to the Radicals Online car 43. And he's going to get the move done before they get to turn 4, is he? He does! Back up into 2nd for Conor Ryan. But that is enabling Phil to leg it off into the distance.
Yeah, every lap Rene spends behind Conor is a 1 lap less he has to chase down Phil. I don't think, and like you say, with ultimate respect to Conor, I don't think Conor's got the pace to challenge Phil, but Conor's definitely got the pace to hold on to a 2nd place here. And if he can hold that off from Rene, Phil's in the pound seats.
Daniel Morris and Stuart Milne side by side, battle for 10th, still side by side. They've been that way for a while. Car number 3, Stuart Milne trying to do something about it, but then through on the inside goes Morris in the AOR Blue car treble 7. So finally up into 10th place for Morris. Then Charlie Summers now up into 13th place. He's got Kessler for company already ahead, so still continuing his charge from the back of the field. Here comes Osterkamp again. Rolls reversed. Now he's going to fly through on the inside again. Conor Ryan not challenging that one, but he's going to want to repeat what he did last time around. The lead now 3.7 seconds for Phil Reed. That is not what Osterkamp wanted. There's only 13 and a bit minutes left, so he's got to gain half a second every lap. I'm not quite that much, but he's still got to gain a fair old chunk of time every lap. Conor Ryan is right there. But Osterkamp had a better drive out of the NRSs this time. This could well be 2nd, quite secured for car number 29.
Yeah, it looks like that one's done deal now for Rene. We've got a bit of a scrap forming in 12th place. with Patrick Kessler, Charlie Summers, and Tim Delisle. All three drivers that should be higher up.
Wow.
Tim Delisle making a move on Charlie Summers, who has front wing damage, by the way. So that's going to be hurting him somewhat, I think.
Who Summers does?
Yeah.
Was he?
On the front left.
Oh, it's a bit higher than it should be, yeah. So he's clunked into something. That's
Maybe why Patrick's pulling away a little.
Could well be. Stuart Mill and the Daniel Morris, they haven't resolved their battle yet, although Morris now does have about 9/10 there. Then you've got Lindstrom with Imre and Waldo in hot pursuit as well. That's about a 7th. So that battle rages on. Waldo closing in a bit on Evan Imre. But Conor Ryan, yeah, you can just see he's losing time against Osterkamp, trying his best to hang on. There's Phil Reed at the bottom of the shot. 3.5 seconds separates Osterkamp to Phil Reed. But yeah, that's going to be... Phil's going to be under a lot of pressure pretty soon. 3/10 was the difference between Osterkamp and Phil Reed. He's going to be with him before the end of the race, but I don't know how much time he's going to have, unless, of course, Phil makes a mistake. Or, of course, unless Randy makes a mistake. You know, it does happen. So,
it's worth pointing out for Conor, don't give up, because he was in this position last time and ended up inheriting the lead.
oh, Kessler! What's happened to you? I was just looking at your position thinking, oh, wow, that's going to be a decent battle.
Wow,
Look at, wow, he just smacked off the curb at turn 2 and he's hit the wall backwards. That's painful.
That's... Oh, if he's not got rear wheel damage, I'll be amazed. I'll do some digging, but I think he has.
Surely he must. He hit the wall pretty hard.
I'll do some investigation.
Alexander Waldo putting the pressure on Evan Imre. Less than half a second separates those two now. So can the Scot fend off the Swede as they come through turn 10? Bika Tapato now downhill through Michelo. What is Evan going to... Well, Evan's not in a position where he has to defend too hard just yet, but Alexander Waldo has been gained a couple of tenths last time around, so... Oh, he's gone! Commentator curse on Alexander Waldo. Wow, he's done that very, very well. He's just completely lost out on the exit of Jun Xiao. He's going to be very careful how he comes back on track, and that is his race run.
Yeah, it's that final corner is very slippy, both on exit curb, entry curb, and just the general track in itself. It's very easy to lose grip there.
Someone again.
For Kessler, I think he's okay. I think Kessler's okay. Yeah.
He's a lucky
He
boy.
looked a little squirrely coming out of some of the corners, but that may just be red mist and frustration at himself. But he's still going and he's still carrying good speed, so he may have just gotten away with that. Tim
Delisle over to... Go on.
Am I seeing that right? No, I'm not seeing that one. My overlay was telling me that René Osterkamp was within 6/10 of Phil Reed.
Not yet.
He's not. He's within 3 seconds. But okay.
Tim Delisle now in the top 10 as he's gone past Stuart Mill. He's got a couple of seconds to close down to Daniel Morris. Imre on the back of Lindstrom now that he's shaken off. As Alexander Waldo binned himself essentially. So now Evan can just concentrate on what's going on ahead of him. The front of the field is actually spread out, surprisingly. Volonay still on the back of Tom van Hooyman. That's the battle for 14th position. And Suominen, I beg your pardon, Waldo has got company with Louis de la Sierra directly ahead of him. So a bit of a recovery drive now needed for Waldo.
I'd like to point out that Usain Morgan Volonay is behind Tom van Hooyman. Tom van Hooyman is a teammate of Jordan Pearce, who's just ahead of him. So Morgan is still staring at the back of a pink car.
Yep. No matter which way he does it, although he's getting very, very close to split the VRT E-Racing purple cars. So we'll see if he's able to mix that up. Oh, Evan Imre's getting very close to Erkel Lindstrom coming through turn 4. But not yet able to make the move, but keeping the pressure very much on. Go on.
I just cut to Phil, who was incredibly sideways, and I thought he was going to spin out. He managed to save it.
But interestingly, that gap's increased up front.
Yeah, I was just looking at the last laps actually. Last lap, Phil with a 25.0 and René Osterkamp with a 25.4.
Ouch. Oh, Volonay's and Van Hooyman still side by side. That's 8-9.
Oh, that was close. That was about as little space as he was allowed to leave.
Enough room for cigarette paper in there. Now back downhill again through Michello, still side by side. Neither of them wanting to give that up. Absolutely fine and fair racing by the pair of them. Oh!
Oh! Is he going to save it? Is he going to save it? He managed to hold on to that, but that could have very easily got away from him. And he's lost another position to Kessler, but I think the fact he's still pointing in the same direction will give him reason to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely that. 7.5 minutes to go. The lead for Phil Reed is 3.7 seconds. Then it is...
Oh!
Go on.
I just want to point out, I know on our overlay it says otherwise, but on in iRacing officially, Phil's last lap was a 1:25.000. For me, that's like you ultimately win if you get a 000.
That's your OCD has been satisfied.
Yes.
Oh, that's Kessler on Volonais. That's 14th position to the CMRC racer, who's had a pretty torrid time. The Swiss driver is this one will be one to forget for him. Evan Imre still hanging on to the back of Erkut Lindström, so he's still challenging for that 7th position. But yeah, I'm actually surprised at how much the field has spread out by and large.
Yeah, well, with the most of them getting a qualifying lap in, it's created some chaos, but it kind of put people nearly or approximately roughly where they're supposed to be. But we still have plenty of battles on track. We've still got Evan and Oka not too far apart. We've got Gio Cortesi gaining on Conor Ryan as well. Daniel J. Morris just been passed by Tim Delisle, but he's sticking with him. Although Morris on the rev limiter going up into turn 1. So
I could hear one of them bouncing off the limiter.
Yeah.
We've seen that a few times this evening, but then what do you do? Do you go for shorter gears for the twisty bits or longer gears for the straighter bits?
I mean, generally, if I was still racing, I would always want to make sure I wasn't topping out at the end of the straight on my own.
Suominen and Della Sierra side by side coming through the SNRSs, still going. And the newcomer, car 58, hanging on to that one just about. Then right behind them is Waldo and Santana. So a nice scrapping going on there for 17th and 19th respectively. But I'm just keeping an eye on timings generally, because we only have 5 minutes to go. And tell you what, that lead has not shrunk.
No, Phil's certainly got Phil with a 24.9.
Wow.
New fastest lap of the race last lap. He's getting quicker. His last 4 laps have all been improvements. I wonder what this one will be. Oh, he's ruined it now.
By a whole 10.
By a whole 10. You just can't get the quality drivers these days.
Oh.
These are clearly way better drivers than I am, but Phil was very lucky there. Something I wanted to point out actually earlier, you know, we see this for every year in F1, they update tracks and things like that. Here they scan it, and that's what it is. So recently, in the recent years, this actual real-life track has pushed that barrier away from turn 2, from the exit turn 2. It's much further clear now. Now it's not. Here it isn't. Now if you run right, you will crash.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back from Jordan Pierce, he's got Patrick Kessler and Morgan Volonais for company there. Also, what's going on with Santana? It's side by side with Suominen again. And there's Alexander Waldo looking to get involved. That's a great old scrap going on there, on board with the Swede. He's gonna have a crack at Suominen. He's gone defensive to the inside, and there goes Santana to try the defensive line. Oh, that's side by side coming through turn 4. Where's Waldo wandered wide? That's going to be one on your instant point. What's happened to Osterkamp? Nothing's happened to Osterkamp. Just his timing disappeared for a moment. Oh, Kessler on the back of Jordan Pierce. It's strange positions we're having in the battles, but they are battles nonetheless. And the CMRC car 28, he really wants to get on with it, but Jordan Pierce defending brilliantly well. And with only 3 laps to go, it's still a lot of pressure to have to deal with, to be fair.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you especially when you know the car behind is quicker. You know, but with 3 laps to go, hold to it, fight for it. You've got, you know, a lot of drivers will take pride over points. I'm one of those drivers.
Yeah.
Kessler's going to, I think, get this one though over Pierce. Although unless Pierce does some hilariously outbraking them on the outside, but Kessler has got that position up into 13th place.
Yeah, I mean, if he tried to move there, he would have been braking, as in breaking against the wall.
It's a legitimate strategy. Although Kessler has gone defensive towards turn 4, so I think these two had a little scrap in the feature race as well, so perhaps Patrick is aware at how hard Jordan will fight.
Bit of a different line coming through 5 for these two. Valonet's acting as our camera car for this one. Go on.
Santana and Luis Sierra were side by side from turn 4, and Sierra on the outside got a little wobbly and has ended up backwards in the wall. He's been for a trip, he's carried on, but his rear wing is damaged.
Turn 4 claiming another.
And Waldo and Sloman side by side. Sorry to cut you off, but they're still side by side. Sloman with a slightly damaged front wing, I think, as well. So he's got a bit of a handicap here, but he's giving all of the fight to Waldo. He's still going to try it. He's going to be very wide, though. No, he can't hold that anymore. Waldo moves back up into 18th place.
Phil Reed continues to lead 2 laps to go, but he's lost a second, though. Osterkamp is claimed the fastest lap of the race by 0.005 of a second over Phil Reed. Oh no, now the timings have updated themselves. That's now 4-second lead that Phil has for himself. He's probably not going to back off, though. He's still going to press on. Tim Delisle side by side with Evan Imre. That's 8th position now to our feature race winner. And unless we have Armageddon and a meteor land on the track, I don't think he's going to be repeating that one today. But this will be Phil's 3rd win of the season.
He's having a great season at the minute. You know, and it's worth pointing out as well, you know, we look at these two out front, you're like, okay, realistically with the time left, they're probably not going to be changing position unless someone makes a mistake. But they're still both pushing because you get points for fastest lap.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely worth going for it. But there's still that edge of caution of like, if I make a mistake, I may be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Is anyone close to the incident limit?
Ortiz, by the way, is getting close to Conor Ryan. Going on to the final lap.
Final lap then for Interlagos for the Formula 3s. Nearly did it. Nearly got it wrong.
Nearly.
For just under 4 seconds then for Phil Reed. He can afford to drive at 95% to bring that one home for his 3rd win of the season. Osterkamp keeping the points tally good and true, but Conor Ryan's got some work to do to keep the very impressive drive then from the Spaniard, car number 55. We'll see what he can do. Charlie Summers on the back of Stuart Milne. That's about it for 11th. Charlie, of course, starting from the back for not having set. I think he did set. You had to set a bad lap on invalid lap. Oh, there's Jordan Pierce again with Morgan Valonais coming through turn 4, and right behind them is. Oh, there goes. Oh, what a shame for Valonais. Just got away from him and it's dropped a couple of positions. He's got some distance between himself and Waldo. Oh, what a shame for a battle to end that way. But jumping up front, no such trouble for car number 44. Once again, for the 3rd time in the season, your winner here in Interlagos for the sprint race. It is the Team AOR Orange, and he's happy about it, and quite rightly so. It is Phil Reed. René Osterkamp comes across the line in 2nd. Conor Ryan just manages to fend off Cortese, but only by 2.5 tenths to round out the podium. Then it's going to be Canoe Martinson, a decent drive for him in 5th position. Then Marcel Miles manages to hold off Erke Lindström. Tim Delisle finishes in 8th place with Evan 9 and Daniel Morris rounding out our top 10. Look at that pack behind. That is Milne, Summers and Kessler right in there, and Summers by 0.05 of a second just managed to pip Kessler. Oh, Kessler may be a bit unhappy about that, but that's the nature of the beast. Then it is Van Hooyman come across the line in 14th place. Jordan Pierce, there he is in 15. Then is Vanonay with that 16th place. Waldo 17. Suominen across the line in 18th position. Santana with his various battles is going to take 19th position. Then it is De La Sierra to take 20th, and I think, yep, he's our last runner, I believe. Oh, bit of a clunk there. Maldonado was already in the pits. Wow! All over too quickly, but what an incredible race.
That was insane fun. Like we said earlier, this is first of 3 broadcasts at this track, so the 2 leagues have a lot to live up to.
So there's the confirmed.
We have set the bar pretty high.
Oh yes, very much so. So by 5,000 of a second, Osterkamp did indeed hang on to the fastest lap. There's your confirmed grid finishes. Reed, Osterkamp, Ryan, Cortese, Martinson, Miles, Lindstrom, Delisle, Imre, Morris, Milne, Summers, Kessler, Hoyman, Pierce, Volonais, Waldo, Suominen, Santana and Sierra. The rest of the runners did not see the flag, which were Barb, Maldonado, Tessier, Dove and Varani. Whew.
You're right after that. There was a lot of speaking going on.
That was amazing. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. We'll give our drivers a little bit of time if they want to come and speak to us. They are welcome to. They're not forced to. Well, a lot of them aren't in Discord, so we can't really force them to.
No, we'll just have to wait and see if they'll. Anyone wants to come and talk to us. Fine if they don't want to. It's just nice if they do. Yeah, what a crazy night.
That was amazing. I mean, Interlagos it always is such a mixture of decent sized straights and a lot of really technical twisty bits.
Yeah, and it's great as well because certainly in these sort of cars where the downforce isn't quite so high, you certainly in that midfield section, the corners set each other up so well that you can go side by side through a lot of them, like we saw with Pierce and Volonais in the feature race, and we saw a few times in the sprint race. And you're allowed to do that switchback, like we saw with turn 1, 2, 3, 4. They all follow each other in such a nice flow round here. But it's a tricky circuit. I don't think you could ever get a race round here without seeing, I would say, at least half the cars lock up at some point into turn 1. It's such a tricky track with elevation change and fast flowing corners. But it's great. It's really great.
Yeah, it's great in real life as much as it is in the virtual world. And wow, what an incredible! Yeah, exactly as you say. The GT League and the Formula Renault 3.5s have got a lot to live up to. And these cars are the slowest of the 3, are they? Or the GT?
They should be. The GT should be faster than these.
But
I hope.
But those curbs, though, my God, they're vicious.
They are indeed. We do have a couple of people wanting to talk to us.
We have Sarah Dove and Phil Reed. Let's grab them over. Hello, happy people. Thank you very much for spending the time to come and talk to us. Let's have a word with Sarah first. Well, you had a lot of work to do in those races. How was that for you?
Not the best. I had the car felt really great, but I had too much downforce, so I just couldn't get past anyone on the straights, and everyone just flew past me. So it was just, I'd sit behind someone and I'd be the same distance at the end of the straight than I would be at the start. So it was,
we talked a fair bit about downforce before and during the broadcast itself on, which way would we go? Were you sort of trying different setups, or before the race were you quite confident with the high downforce as the way to go?
I tried a low downforce, and it was faster on the straights, but I wasn't as confident in the corners. I was a lot more all over the place in the corners, so I went with the high downforce so that I'd be competent in the corners, and it felt good, but I was just slow.
The nature of the beast. Well done, good effort, and we look forward to the rounds to come.
Thank you.
Mr. McFillan, Mr. Reed, what a stunning round for you.
It was like
nice and modest. You got to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, it came as a little bit of a surprise. Like I felt like I had good pace, and I thought good results here and there are going to be up for grabs. And obviously I was excited the slight shake up for the sprint race, I was thinking, oh maybe, and then I was thinking to myself, but then again, I've never been known as someone to be good at qualifying on one lap, so I was like, well, maybe this won't help me that much. But yeah, the feature race was good. You know, I was having a good time. Obviously, I was following Rene for a lot of it until, unfortunately, Rene had his like half spin or full spin, which I spun trying to avoid because I didn't want to hit him, and I really didn't want to hit him and ruin both the races. So I thought, well, I'll go for this and try and make it up from there. And then it went really well after that. You know, obviously I started gaining on people. I had a nice battle with Connor Wright, who had really good pace here actually this time. And then yeah, I mean, and then Tim was slightly too far ahead. So you know, second is slightly better than I was expecting. You know, I qualified third, which was again higher than I was expecting. Got second, and then obviously go on to the sprint, qualified second, and got first. So you know, I guess I just like to improve I like to improve by one.
Great effort, Phil, and 3 wins in the season. It's shaping up to be a great as we enter into the second half of the season, and it's shaping up to be quite a finale, I think.
Well, here's hoping.
Awesome stuff. Well done, and we look forward to the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Go on then, Stevie. Who are we going to talk to next?
I would like. I think we owe an interview to our feature race winner.
Agreed.
So let's get him in.
Let's talk to Mr. Delisle. There he is. Hello, Tim.
Hey guys.
Well. Bit of a mixed bag of emotions for you, but what a stunning feature race for you there. That was a pretty flawless performance there. You must be quite happy with that one at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. There was only one race that happened today. I was really, really happy to get that one. In the first few rounds, I didn't feel like I got the chance to show my potential, and this was the first race where it sort of all come together for me. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's very much put your name back on the map. I mean, how confident were you before this evening's race? Were you just kind of hoping for luck, or were you certain you were going to be towards the sharp end tonight?
I wasn't too sure because I saw the practice results where people had been setting times in the 124s, and I'd been testing under different track temps, so I was running sort of mid-25s, so I wasn't too sure. But when I joined the practice tonight, I was up there, so I was hoping for a top 3 at least.
Wow, you certainly achieved that. Well done to you. How are you thinking for the season moving forward? Are you just taking it race by race, or are you aiming for good things in the final rounds?
I'm pretty much just taking it race by race at this stage because I've had real trouble sort of getting used to this car, I guess. I prefer the Formula Renault 3.5. This one's never really clicked for me. So, I don't know. I'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully I can keep that sort of pace up and not make any dumb mistakes like I did in the sprint race.
Well done, Tim. We look forward to the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, and just quickly, I noticed I'm listed as a privateer at the moment, but I've been working with Positive Sim Racing the last sort of month or so, so I'd just like to give a shout out to them.
Awesome stuff. Shout out given. Right then, Stevie, who's going to be our final interviewee?
I would like to speak to the man that got a lot of screen time tonight. I'd like to speak to Lindstrom.
Mr. Lindstrom, hello to you.
Hello guys.
Yeah, you, particularly in the sprint race, my God, did we have a lot of, you had a fair bit of airtime. How are you feeling after that one?
It was very fun racing and clean battles, so I'm happy for that, but yeah, my qualifying is just a little bit problem, you know. I have a lot to catch in the races, yeah.
I mean, particularly in the sprint race, a bad qualifying is really gonna hurt. So, how were you aiming for? Where were you kind of aiming before tonight's race started? Were you thinking more towards the top end, or were you quite happy with where you finished?
I'm kind of happy because there was so so tough. Everybody was very quick, but the qualifying in the theater race was bad. You know, I was many tenths of my normal quali lap time, so the race was hard that way, and I messed up into the pit stop. I almost spun into the pit exit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I lost there a couple of positions to the Knut and Luca, but then I got Luca. Actually, I think he just let me go because he had some cold tires and he did not want to lose time with battle with me. Yeah.
Well, it was great fun to watch you battling, and we look forward to the season to come.
Yeah, thanks guys. Cheers.
Well done, well done. And that's going to be it for tonight's broadcast. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to commentate for you guys. Thank you very much, Stevie, for tolerating me in the commentary box. Always a great pleasure, sir.
It's always an honour to sit beside you and talk over these races. It's always good fun, and tonight was no exception. On the iRacing side of League Racing on AOR, as we've said a couple of times tonight, this was the first of 3 consecutive iRacing broadcasts that will be taking place at this very track. So on Monday we have the next round of the GTE League here, and then on Friday we have the next round of the Formula Renault 3.5 League here, and then the following Friday for the next round of this series it is at Road America.
Love Road America, but my god, that place is bumpy, so that's really going to be testing for our drivers.
Absolutely, it's a tough track, but I will say that track is responsible for the closest finish ever recorded in AOR League history, which was less than 1,000th of a second.
Less than 1,000.
The standings officially said 0.000.
That's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I'll be amazed if we do it, but I hope we can try.
If anybody can, it is this group of racers. Thank you very much to our sponsors, of course. Without you guys, AOR would not continue to grow. And we will be back for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.